Hello everyone, this is Kaifu here with Game 3 in a series between Peter and me, aka Kaifu. Peter on the left side is playing Dracula, using Dracula's pressure, allowing to pressure the opponent not to make a misplay because a single misplay will cost the opponent the game, because Dracula is such a powerful ruler in the early game, because if you're not too careful, it will actually do a lot of damage to you in the early. By the time you have an answer, it's already too late. While me, aka Kaifu, on the right side is playing Black Abdul control, using like a lot of control spells such as Spirit Despair, as you saw, using Spirit Despair to control what the opponent can play, what the opponent can't play, and not that, not allowing my opponent to have the extra resource he need or the extra options he need to play cards on the field or play activate any spells. So back to the game itself. So at the moment, Peter dropped a lore to search for another lore for the hand advantage because I did make him discard a card. So the Spirit Despair I made him discard a card doesn't matter too much at the moment because he did get a +1 and I got a +1 from the Spirit Despair, so it's neutral advantage at the moment. So back to my turn, and I'm still thinking I do have a second Spirit Despair in my hand. I could play it again, but however, I don't think there's a point playing it now until I see a good opportunity, because think of it this way: if I activate Spirit Despair now, he would just discard one random card, another random card, right? Then he'll play his Laura to get the extra hand advantage back again. So I don't think that was a smart play if I do Spirit Despair now. I'd rather save that option for later, and if my opponent does drop a Laura, I can cancel it with the Zig the Ancient Magic I do have in my hand. Then I'll use Spirit Despair, discard his last two more cards in his hand. It depends now what my opponent does. He does drop a 7 on the field for the extra defense, because I can't target his resonators now. That is vampire anyway, so I have to target that one first before I can do anything. So back to my turn. I do draw another Zig the Ancient Magic. Not really helpful in this situation, but I do pay 2. And I do use Sting Death, killing the vampire 7, because in the long run I have to get rid of the 7 sooner or later, because if I don't get it sooner or later I can't use my target spells such as Outer World, Thunders, and Sting Death for example. I can't target it as long as 7s remain on the field, so I'm gonna force get out of field. And next I play Spirit Despair once again, forcing my opponent to discard 2 cards, and I'm forcing my opponent to play the lore on the field if he has to. If not, then he has to discard another good card. Now he does discard the lore surprisingly to me, because if I was him I would actually keep the lore for the extra hand advantage, because it gives him more options. It does give me more options, and Peter does go for the extra 300 point of damage again, putting me down to 3,400 compared to his 4,000 life points. Now back to my turn. Not much I can do at the moment besides tapping for another magic stone, and I do have gravity, bind of gravity, to actually prevent that lore from doing any more damage to me, because if you haven't noticed in game 2 that he does have Split Heaven and Earth in his main deck, so I don't want to take too much damage, and obviously by not taking too much damage I will not allow myself to be in range for Split Heaven and Earth. So that's my plan at the moment: take as less damage as I could and also control my opponent's plays and so on. And my opponent is playing the same thing by passing turn and not doing anything. Now this is the same strategy I did in game 1 and game 2. I didn't put any resident on the field until I had the right answers or the right resource I need to have to prevent my opponent from doing any shenanigans. Because the fact that if my opponent can flip Dracula over really quickly, if I have no answer for it, I'm putting myself in big trouble. So in this situation, I do not want to happen. So I'm not putting a single resident on the field, because if I put a resident on the field, it will allow him to get his plays off. Let's see what can Peter do in this situation. Peter does have a large chunk of hand, so he is in strong position, but let's see what he can do. But he does pass turn, not putting anything on the field, because he knows that both of us do play a lot of kills, but he plays Outer Worlds, I play Outer World. He plays Thunder, I play Thunder. He plays Stoning Death, I play Stoning Death. He plays Camilla, I play Camilla. So it's pretty much whoever runs out the most resource first when it comes to kill spell will usually win the game. So let's see what happens from here. I do have a lot of cards in my hand, so I have to drop a card on the field sooner or later, but I'm thinking, should I Judgment or should I Judgment? But let's see what I have to do in this situation. I do have a Chameleon on the field. Not on the field, on my hand to put on the field for the extra offensive defense, but I do decide to use Abdul. But I actually forgot to use Abdul on the chase, to chase my Abdul to tap it to my strength attack, bring a defense onto the Laura. Because you'd be wondering, what's the point of that? The point is that I get rid of the vampire off the field, because if he has a vampire on the field, I have to get rid of it, because the fact is that if he controls vampire and kill one of my resonator, he able to J activate. So that was a little misplay play by me, which might cost me the game, but let's see what happens. At the moment, he does have a tapped out Laura, and he doesn't want to do anything with the Laura unless he want to drop something else big. He does have Vampire 7 in his hand, but I'm surprised that he didn't drop it too early. Maybe he believes that he will drop it when the time comes, but let's see when that time comes at all. Now my opponent has an untapped Dracula, so he does pay 4 and drop a Mephistopheles on the field, and I do use Zig the Ancient Magic to cancel the summon because I don't want to take that much damage, but he did bait out my green Magic Stone, so he can use Split Heaven and Earth and do a lot of damage to me, put me down to 1,600 life point, and he put him down to 3,400 life point because he does control 2 special Magic Stone obviously, and then tap for another one, which was a smart play because he didn't tap too early. Instead of taking 900 he took 600 instead, so life point wise is really good. I do burn him for extra 500 with the Thunder. It might be a waste of a card, but I'm going to discard a card sooner or later because I have so much card in my hand at the moment. So let's see now. Now I do drop a Camilla because I know the fact that he only had one untap, because meaning that one untap means that he can't actually kill my Camilla before his recover phase. So pretty much he has to waste some resources and so on to get rid of my field or get rid of my Camellia that control. Now my opponent does drop a Camilla of his own for the extra offense, I believe, but let's see what he does with it. He's paying 1 to put the Vampire 7 on the field for the extra defense to prevent me from killing his Camellia. Now from here I was thinking what I should do, and I don't want to use Zig Ancient Magic because if I do use it, I'm just cancelling a 7. Not only that, he has 2 redstone open, so pretty much I might see another Split Heaven Earth and I might die from within this range, so obviously I didn't cancel for obvious reasons. Now obviously I did drew a Bind of Gravities, but I can't use it at the moment until I get rid of that Vampire 7. I tap another Magic Stone and let's see what happens from here. Well, I do have a lot of plays. I do drop the Cinderella from this range because I want to get rid of that 7. I do not have a Thunder in my hand to get rid of the 7. So I'm trying to launch the Cinderella effect, and he does use Blood Sucking Impulse to target my Camellia, but if he does do that, he will get the free kill off me, obviously, but I'm going to prevent it from happening by using Zig the Ancient Magic, protecting it for the turn. Now you'd be wondering, what's the point of it? Why not use my Absolute Cake Zone? Because I'm saving my Absolute Cake Zone for Split Heaven and Earth, because I know the fact that Split Heaven and Earth is the one to kill me, not Dracula at the moment, because if Dracula does kill my he does kill one of my Resonators, which is my Camellia, then tough luck for me, but oh well then. Obviously I do have another option, which was tap my little red stone to give it plus 200 attack, 200 defense, but I want to get offensive. I want to get really aggressive. I want to force my opponent to block with the Camellia. If he does block, I will punish him by using my little red stone to pump by 200 attack, 200 defense, but he doesn't block it obviously, so but I will pump it to give it extra pump 200 more, put him down to 1,900. Then I'll use Bind of Gravity to rest his Camellia for no extra offense for him to do. Currently life point was 1,900 compared to my 1,600 life points. So currently 2 of his Resonators is tapped out, so pretty much he can't use the attack, he can't use the defense, so it put me in a strong position. I do have 2 untapped Magic Stones, so I can only use 1 cancel spell or use 1 Outer World. So it depends what my opponent does, and he does set a standby. So from here I thought it was a bluff because usually a lot of Dracula deck doesn't use a lot of standby, so I was expecting that it can't be a standby. It could be a Resonator or a random spell he doesn't have. So to put as a bluff to bluff me out, saying that okay, he has a standby, I'm attacking him and buff my Camellia, but he does have a standby which can kill my Camellia, and which it did kill my Camellia. What that spell does is that if the original attack is different from his original attack, for example, it got buff or debuff, it kills it instantly. So it's pretty much a slow removal spell. So it caught me off surprise, so kill my Camellia, which was a huge misplay by me. So let's see now. I do have a Necromonicon in my hand, but I do not want to play it right away because in my graveyard I do not have an Absolute Cake Zone, so I don't want to risk that from happening. So I'm gonna pay 2 and search for a Laura, obviously, but I'm thinking what Magic Stone should I tap first, and I'm thinking at the moment what's the right one, and then I'll do my search off, playing like Laura on the field, search for another Laura, and play it on the field again, I believe. Yes, I will play on the field because I only have 1 instant spell to reuse in my hand, so play another Laura to get the hand advantage, not only that, field presence, because it's my turn to do the extra aggressive play, and I have 3 Laurels in the field to attack him directly. Now he does use the Dracula ability to debuff my Laura, so it'll be within range for judgment cost. But at the moment I can't do much, so I let it die. So pretty much he can get free activation cost of putting a Dracula on the field. Now Dracula is not usually a lot of it's not that painful to deal with, but however, because I have to deal with it, it's not a good option because he can attack me twice and I'm dead. So I have to be very careful now. But at this point I have a lot of magic stone open, so pretty much a lot of magic stone in play, should I say, to put me in a better position because I can put some extra resource on the field or put an extra big creature on the field to attack him or defend. I do drop a Camilla for the extra offense, obviously, and I do have a little red stone which can buff do a lot more damage than the Dracula because obviously I can buff my Camilla to attack a lot of damage. And my opponent does have Outer World in his hand, so it depends if he doesn't want to use Outer World at all. Let's see now. Dracula on the field, Camilla tap, Laura tap compared to my 2 Lauras and 1 Camilla. He decided to pass and not tap for Magic Stone because if he does tap, I will do lethal damage on board because he does see that I have an untapped little redstone and I do buff my Camilla. He does use Outer World and kill my not Camilla, Camilla, yeah, so he does kill my Camilla. So back to my recover phase, and my Camilla does go to my graveyard. Obviously I can't chase with my absolute cakes, and I have 2 cakes in my hand. So at the moment, I do have another Camilla in my hand. I drop the Camilla again on the field once again, put for the extra offense, and not only that, because I know my opponent can't really do much, because once the Camilla hits the field, I can actually go for a game. Like, I have Little Redstone untapped, and he does bundle me for 500 point damage. And I have 2 kicks in my hand. He has 1 card in hand, so I can take this opportunity to cancel because I know that even if I split heaven, I've had another cancel spell in my hand to cancel it. So I don't want to take any more damage because if any more damage I will take from here, I will be even closer with Dracula's range for damage. I have 2 cards in hand compared to 1 card in hand. He does play a split heaven. I do have another cancel spell in my hand and prevent it from happening. So now I have 2 kicks in my hand. Now it's my time to shine to put Necromonica on the field. But before I do that, before recover phase, I did buff my Camilla by 200 attack, 200 defense, putting on 1000 attack, 1000 defense, and attack directly and see if he blocks. If he blocks, I buff my Resonator again, put him down to 900 point damage, and I'll do put a Necronomicon on the field because now I have no graveyard, so pretty much even his Dracula does kill my Resonators, it doesn't go back to his side of the field because in order for Dracula for work, he needs to destroy a Resonant on my side of the field and goes to the graveyard by dealt damage by Dracula because I didn't get any damage and didn't send to, well, it did get damage to a single Resonator, but it didn't go to the graveyard, which is key. So pretty much Necromonica is saving me with no graveyard, no Dracula ability to steal my Resonator. So I have 2 more attack to attack with, and I have so much option in my graveyard. I have a lot of untapped Magic Stone, so I have like 7 untapped Magic Stone to play with. I have 1 card in hand and lots of cards in my graveyard to play with. At the moment, I'm just seeing what my options are. I can do some damage to him, or I can try to go for a game from this point, and that's what I'm trying to think at the moment. I do have a Thunder in my graveyard that I was thinking to use, but what should I do with it? I believe I will use the Thunder onto my opponent. I believe, but I'm just thinking what I should do. Thundering my opponent 500 point damage and putting him down to 400 life points. Now I do have a little redstone to buff my Resident by 200 attack, 200 defense, which will lethal because I'm going to declare an attack from here. I believe. Declare an attack, and even he does block with Dracula, he can't steal my Resident because it gets removed from play instantly because Necromonica is on the field. Attack directly with Laura and buff it by 200 point damage. Enough damage on the board to put my opponent down to 0. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening guys, hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Peace out guys.